What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode on EI Entertainment Studios, back at it with another debate episode. Today's debate episode, we're going to be talking about Godzilla 2021 versus the Abyssal Spider. This is going to be a very interesting debate. So here's the plan, folks. We're going to go over the backstories and characteristics of these two giant creatures, and once we're done analyzing them, we're going to put them up against each other in a death battle. So without further ado, let's begin with the backstory and analyzation of Godzilla. So obviously, Godzilla is an ancient alpha predator who was awoken by the nuclear bomb. It protects Earth as the ultimate force of nature. Now, interestingly enough, other Godzillas, for example the Japanese Godzillas, have a different backstory. They're actually an abomination, and they're a nuclear wastely type of creature that they weren't supposed to exist. For example, Shin Godzilla, right? But this Godzilla is more of a heroic Godzilla, which I actually like the take on it. It's pretty cool. Gives Godzilla a more heroic look or legacy. Anyways, continuing on. Abilities, we're going to do a quick skim, and then we'll finish off Godzilla. We'll come back, do a deep analysis before we move on to the next character, so do not worry. That being said, abilities goes as follows: Atomic Breath, Combat, Agility, and the Burning ability. Now, moving on, the Territorial level is None, Aggression is Maximum, Biome is Earth, and the height is 120 meters tall. And this is coming off the most latest version of Godzilla in the Legendary series, which is Godzilla vs. Kong. Alright, let's go back to the abilities. Now, Atomic Breath. Obviously, this is the signature move of Godzilla. It is an atomic pulse that shoots out a ray of fire, nuclear fire I should say, blue in color, and it just explodes everything and anything in its path. Moving on, we have Combat. This Godzilla is one of the most agile Godzillas I have ever seen. He is very fast, very good stamina. So, including, he is the only Godzilla to date that has survived a blast from the Oxygen Destroyer. So, he's a quick recovery, and in general, a quick Godzilla. Now, with that being said, let's go to the combat. Let's go more deeper into combat, I should say. He is very good in combat. He can kick, he can punch, he can headbutt. His tail whip is one of the more deadlier abilities. He can kill opponents with a tail whip. And so basically he can defend himself, and he's quick at it too. So in terms of martial arts, for Godzilla is on point. And finally, we have the most powerful ability, which is the Burning ability. But remember, this ability actually has two catalysts that need to be fulfilled, and they're outside of his body, meaning he has to be infected with more nuclear radiation than his body already possesses, by the means of a bomb or something that can basically possess a lot of nuclear energy, which is most likely going to be a bomb. And the complete energy of Mothra. That means she has to die, give her full energy to Godzilla. Those two catalysts combined enter into the phase of Burning Godzilla. Simply, he just explodes at super high temperatures. He doesn't get hurt by it. It actually just supercharges him, unlike the 1995 Godzilla. But it supercharges him, gives him extra powers, and that's how he killed King Ghidorah. He melts and explodes everything in his path. And you can actually hear Mothra's scream when he uses his ability. So it's actually very unique. Alright. Well, folks, that's going to sum up Godzilla. Let's move on to the more interesting character, because this is the first time we've ever featured this character on this debate series, which is the Abyssal Spider. Now, to tell you guys, maybe some of you guys might not know or even heard of this character, it is a foreign character from a foreign movie. And so the Abyssal Spider is a basically overgrown spider that lives in the sea. And the reason why it's overgrown is because of nuclear radiation. And it attacks people who are evil and makes them die from horrible poisoning. And basically how it happens in the movie is he's caught in a fishing net and he starts attacking people. Now, overall, this spider is obviously nowhere near the size of Godzilla. Although it's affected by nuclear radiation, its size is somewhere probably around 12 meters. which Godzilla is 120 meters. So I went ahead and added my own liberties to this to make this a more interesting debate. So the Abyssal Spider is not only, obviously we know he's, intoxicated by nuclear radiation. When he sees Godzilla or meets Godzilla, Godzilla's radiation also spews on the spider and makes it grow much more larger. And then we'll go over what the size I decided to put on it. So that's the backstory that I took a little bit of liberty to this character, okay? Just a little bit of liberty to make it a more fair fight. Now, abilities, we're going to do a quick skim. Super speed, leg stab, death poison, and razor bite. Territorial level is high, aggression is maximum, biome is ocean and land, and length is 60 meters. Obviously I said it's probably around 12 meters in reality, but we took the liberty. Godzilla's radiation also infected it in this case. Now the Abyssal Spider is going to be 60 meters tall, or long, however you want to say. Now, with that being said, let's go back to the abilities. Let's do a deep skim, or deep analysis. Now, with that being said, we have super speed. Obviously, it's a spider having something like 8 legs. It's gonna be fast. It's gonna be faster than Godzilla in terms of running, and just in overall, just like movement in, not just running, right? Just movement in general, it's going to be faster than Godzilla. It has many legs, and it's huge, so it's very fast. It's basically a Kumanga on steroids, in my opinion, this spider. It's a Kumanga on steroids. So it's fast. Leg stab. Obviously it could stab with its legs. The legs of the spider are sharp at the tips, and it could stab its opponents. And they are huge. I mean, the 60-meter long spider is going to have sharp and big, heavy legs. Finally, we have the second to last, I should say, we have death poison. And this one is the poison he can give to his opponents, or enemies in this case. And they die from blood and just kind of pushing up, pus building up in their body, and they kind of get bloated, and then they just die in a very horrible death. And he can kill his opponents like that with that death poison. And then he has the razor bite, which he can bite his opponents at very fast speeds, just quick bites. And that's gonna really hurt the flesh. It's gonna cut flesh and do a lot of damage to the opponent's skin. And I mean, if he manages to cut through the skin, it could even bite through the organs and just completely mess up the body. So he could really tear it up and basically kill his opponents. Alright, well, that is going to sum up the Abyssal Spider. Now we're gonna move on to the more interesting part of this video, which we've all been waiting for, is the death battle. Now, this is how we're gonna do it. Close range and far range. Now, why do I do this? Far range limits the opponent's abilities, and we're gonna see how they can win a battle with limited abilities. Which one will still come out as winner? At both of them basically be disadvantaged, or maybe one of them will be more advantage than the other. And so we're trying to see, would they be able to win? It's a very great way of testing them out. And then finally, we have close range. And close range is just face to face, no limits, and it's more of a fair battle on both sides. But we'll start off with far range, and here are the rules, folks. They have to be, must be, have to be, and I mean, I'm gonna say this back and forth because it's so important. 700 meters apart. They cannot come closer. That means there is absolutely no physical contact. Absolutely no physical contact. Alright, so let's see what abilities Abyssal Spider can or cannot use in terms of far range. Now, super speed. You know, that has nothing to do with abilities in terms of, getting close or far from the opponent, so yes. Leg stab, no. That is an ability that needs to be used to physically stab the opponent, so there's no physical contact in far range, so the answer is no. Death poison, no. Needs to bite the opponent for the poison to happen. Razor bite, no. Now, I didn't put this specifically in the abilities, but it's kind of a given. He can shoot webs, and being 60 meters tall, we're gonna assume that the webs are gonna travel pretty far because of the power of the body. So yes, he is the only thing he's gonna be able to use is simply a spider web, shoot spider webs, which is going to be interesting, especially against a opponent like Godzilla himself. Now, Godzilla, let's see what abilities he can or cannot use. Atomic Breath, of course, meant to go far distances. Combat, no, because that is for close range touching the opponent. So no, combat is not. Okay, agility has nothing to do with that, so that's fine. And then a burning ability can be used. Alright, so obviously in far range, we're gonna assume this is gonna take some place in the ocean. The Abyssal Spider lives in the ocean. So this is gonna be in the Pacific Ocean, let's just say that. And I see personally Godzilla being the first one to attack. Again, he is a force of nature, protecting nature. He's gonna see this spider as a threat. And he's going to use the Atomic Breath. And the Atomic Breath is definitely gonna cut off a few legs from the spider. Now the spider itself, after it gets hit the first time, obviously it's going to realize that this burning, whatever substance he's going to think it is going to be aware. And it's very quick, it's very fast, and it's in the ocean. It's going to be able to swim around every time Godzilla uses the Atomic Breath. So he's going to be able to evade that. With that being said, after he evades that, he's able to use the only ability the spider can use in terms of far range is the spider web, which is definitely going to use, or it's going to be used obviously in a large scale, but also it's going to do not really damage to Godzilla, but it's going to obviously confuse him if it gets him around the eye or the head. With that being said, obviously Godzilla can use his Atomic Breath to melt, right? To melt off the spider web, and he can swim around it. And then we have the other ability, which we're going to assume that, and we're assuming all of this can be used, right? And so nuclear radiation can be intoxicated in him extra, and Mothra's energy is given to him, and he goes into burning mode. And burning mode, there is no escape for the spider, and so therefore the burning mode, he's going to explode, and the burning spider is going to die. Absolutely no way of combating that. And therefore, for far range, Godzilla is going to win 1-0. Okay, let's go to close range now. Okay, close range is no limits, face to face. Now, let's take this into consideration. Godzilla is 120 meters tall, while the spider is 60 meters long. So, the spider is not super small, but Godzilla is going to be way bigger in the ocean. Now, face to face, they're going to come to combat. The spider is going to have not too much of a hard time defending because of the many legs. And those legs are going to be long and bulky and sharp. And they're going to start to stab Godzilla and push him away. And they're going to do a lot of damage to Godzilla. With that being said, with the spider web, it's going to really mess up Godzilla's offense, right? It's going to mess up his offense. And because of that, combined together with the stabbing of the legs and the spider web is going to push him away. And then he's going to be able to bite Godzilla and then also push poison in him. Now, the poison itself, let's talk about the poison. Is it going to affect Godzilla? Godzilla is a 120 meter tall reptile. For all we know, this poison works in humans. Now, we're going to go off of size, right? The size of the spider is 60 meters tall. Godzilla is 120 meters tall. Body size, it's enough. And so I believe, personally, that this poison is definitely going to hurt Godzilla. Now, is it going to kill him? I don't think it's going to kill him because of how radioactive this creature is. But it's definitely going to hurt Godzilla and slow him down. It's definitely going to hurt him to a point where he's not going to be able to use the burning ability because his body's not going to be functioning very well. He's also not going to be able to use the Atomic Breath. So it's going to be left just physically. Although these two abilities are going to be taken off, Godzilla himself is still a quick monster, a big bulky monster, has massive amounts of strength, so even without the Atomic Breath and the burning ability, he's going to be able to easily rip apart the Abyssal Spider. And therefore, becoming 2-0, I was going to say 1-0, which it is another 1-0 for this level, making it 2-0 for far and close range, making the winner Godzilla. Obviously, this is my opinion. You can debate me in the comment section below. Again, the winner is Godzilla. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great and wonderful day.